Okay, and welcome to another edition of Tiger TV. I'm your host, Tony Symonds, and today, what a pleasure it is. I've got the great Ross Gibbs with me, who played 253 games for the Bays, and the one and only incomparable David Marshall, 353 games, 100 games more than Gibbsy. Welcome, boys. Thanks for coming along.
Thanks, mate. Good to catch up.
Now, first things first, David, do you get to the footy these days and come and watch these guys play?
I live just around the corner, so pop over when I can, but footy's no longer the priority, so just get here every now and then.
What is the priority? Golf?
Oh, golf, family, relaxing, doing what you want, really.
Okay, that sounds good. Nice and easy. Now, Ross, you've been gone from from our footy club for quite a while. Do you still get down and watch the footy, or do you go elsewhere to get your kicks these days, maybe over the border?
Like David, mate, I come down here very randomly, but I do go over the border a bit, once every month basically. I try to get to Melbourne, of course, it's a bit hard. But funny enough, my daughter goes out with a West Adelaide player, so I hate to say it, but I watch a few West Adelaide games as well, probably more than I should in the Bay. So but that's what happens, and as you do with your kids, you support them as well. And my daughter asked me to come along to the Westies games, and I did help them win the grand final 2 years ago.
Oh, did you? Had a bit of input, did you?
I did. I had a little bit of input, yeah.
Oh, I could just imagine what that would have been. I actually coached Gibbsy at Victor Harbour, and the input wasn't that great, let me tell you. Now, just getting back to some serious stuff, Marshy, what have you been up to since your footy career finished? You obviously finished with the Adelaide Crows, and then here as well. Mm-hmm. What year did you finish, and what have you been doing since?
So I finished here in '93, so 2 years at the Crows, and then back here for 1 year under Choco, which was pretty enjoyable. And then since then it's just really been work, family, kids are all grown up, wedding.
Golf handicap?
Golf handicap, 4.
That's blown out, Dave.
Good idea. That's my handicap on the first 4 holes.
No, I love my golf. It's good fun.
Well done, mate. And Gibbsy, what have you been doing with yourself since you gave up? I know you went down to Victor Harbour for a while because I was there with you. What have you been doing since senior football here?
Same as David, basically. Family, love me golf. Obviously, I'm nowhere near David. I'm off probably about 18 or 19, I reckon. But I've got 2 lovely daughters. My son, of course, plays in Melbourne. And yeah, just family, work, and just doing the normal basic things as we all do. Okay. Just on that, we don't want to be too controversial, of course, but there was a big chance Bryce was going to be back here at the end of last football season. Didn't work out that way. I think everyone was upset about that here, particularly people who barrack for the Crows or who'd been involved with the Crows. It didn't quite work out. That must have been sort of disappointing for the family, probably particularly your wife. Well, yeah, as all mothers do with their sons or daughters, is when they leave home, they still, whether they're 20 or whether they're 40, their mothers still want them to come home. But look, the Crows have had a couple of cracks at him with the father-son in the early days. That didn't work out. Same scenario. Funny enough, I forgot to mention I'm actually a grandpa, so that was part of the main factor. Bryce's lovely girlfriend Lauren, she's an Adelaide girl as well. There was a bit of things going on with their personal life, which was all sorted, and basically they wanted to get home with the family scenario. Crows every second or third year they have a bit of a crack at him. But of course, you know, Carlton, look, they're an amazing club. They've got a great affiliation with Glenelg, with Kernahans and all that sort of stuff. And look, we threw out the family a card, as a lot of the AFL boys do, to come home, and unfortunately it didn't work out. He's still got 3 years to go on his contract at Carlton, who are amazing. Like I said, they're an amazing club, and we thought there might be a slight chance to get home. But in the end of the day, it didn't work out, and you never know. Hopefully he'll play there till 300 games and become one of their legends. Okay, well, we'll come back to some of the Glenelg stuff, but boys, your thoughts on modern day football? I mean, obviously we played in another era. We watch the footy pretty regularly these days. It's everywhere you go. What's your opinion of modern day footy, Marshy?
Well, it's changed, hasn't it? I mean, it's completely different to what we played. You know, we were more man on man.
You stood the same bloke all day?
Stood the same guy all day. Shook his hand at the start of the game, said see you afterwards. Or you did anyway. Yeah.
I always thought it was better to get on the better side.
But I mean, we had that attack and defence, which they now zone more so than defence. So defence, zoning is more their defence. So, I mean, they're athletes. They're a different, I mean, rovers, or like wingmen like you and I were. they're now 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
So 5'10", you know, I think Richard Douglas that plays for the Crows is 6 foot, and I thought he was smaller than me.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's a different game, but it's all relative.
Still a great game.
Yeah, it's all relative to what it is.
What about the skills, Gibbsy? You think the skills are there these days, or how do you read it?
I'm a bit different to David. It frustrates the hell out of me. I just can't believe they train all day. They, you know, with the balls. We train 3 nights a week. Our skill level was right up there. I can't believe how these AFL players, 20, 30 metres out dead in front, they all miss regularly. Doesn't matter whether they're the best players or the worst, whatever. I just can't believe how they play this handball game. Like, it's just crazy. I know, like I said, footy's changed. They haven't got that key centre forward or whatever, or key full forward anymore. But the way they play the footy with a hot potato, you have it, no, you have it, and it frustrates the hell out of me. But I must admit, I follow Carlton, so that's a bit different compared to a Hawthorn or a Sydney or whatever. But yeah, look, and as you said, they're athletes. They train, they get brainwashed with all this stuff, and it just frustrates me where with all their coaches they have, and they have all these meetings, and it just they're
more robots than natural football.
That's exactly right, and I think
that's the difference.
We're all pretty basic blokes, and I reckon they overcomplicate it with these young kids. They got too much things going on in their mind.
Speaking of basic blokes, let's just go back a little bit. 30 years ago, we were talking to someone about it before, but your favourite memories of 1985 and 1986, Marshy? As I said, 30 years ago now. What do you remember, and what do you take from that?
Well, probably relief was more than anything for me, because I played in a few losing ones before that, and played in a few losing ones after that. So to actually have a couple under your belt was pretty special, especially for the Glenelg people, because they've suffered a long time. So we were just lucky that we got to play in a lot of grand finals. Lucky we got to win a couple, because some blokes don't even get to play in finals.
No, you're right. So, Gibbsy, what do you remember?
Well, I just remember I come from WA in '84, and I just remember the camaraderie we had. All the blokes, we all got on well together. We had the Bay Disco. We'd all go out together. We'd go for dinner together. We just had a great network of blokes who we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key to it all, I think. There's too many diversions with this AFL stuff, but in the 85, 86, it was amazing. As Marshy said, I hadn't been here, so I hadn't seen it. I just thought the way we all connected, and we all knew what each other's game inside out we just knew what was certain blokes were going to do, and the bottom line was our game plan was, when you get it, I'd always kick it to you, as you know, or we'd kick it to Stephen Kernow. That was our game plan. It wasn't that hard. It was pretty basic stuff. And
there was certainly a lot of communication, and you're right, when you did get it, you nearly always kicked it to me, and you kept me in the game. So good fella, Ross Gibbs. Now, a little bit of serious stuff again before we go. Any regrets, Marshy, from your football career? The answer could be no, but do you have any?
You can't have regrets, can you? So you go out and do your best. And
what about going to play VFL football earlier? Or AFL football?
You have to be asked first, Simon. So I was lucky enough to be asked when I was 31. So I was lucky just to get the chance.
You still played more games than I did, so well done on that.
Yeah, so no regrets, mate. I mean, you just turn up, you do what you do, and whatever it is, that's what it is. So
any regrets, Ross?
No regrets. Like I said, we had a great time. Probably the biggest one was 1990 when we got in the granny. And I know the club, the history of it. We wanted to beat Port Adelaide. We thought we had them covered, which was a sad thing, and that didn't help us, and they got us, by a couple of goals in that 1990 granny, and that was probably the only down real. Obviously, we lost the 87, which we were good blokes, because we won 85, 86, beat North, so we thought, well, okay, we got on okay with the North boys in the end, and so we let them have that one, so that was okay.
No, I definitely agree. 1990 was definitely the low light for my footy career, so I get that. Now, before we go, we've got all the young lads here, the 2017 squad for Glenelg this year. If you had a minute with them to give them some advice on their footy for this season, Marshy, what would you say to them?
I'd just say be confident, do what you do, enjoy it, don't leave anything in the tank. So you get one shot at it, so do it while you can.
Very good advice.
Because you're a long time out of it.
Correct.
Yeah, totally. Just enjoy. Take the game on. Just take it on. There's too many blokes just get it and
take a few risks.
It's not hard. You do all the skill work and all that. Just use your noggin. That's all you have to do. And it's basic. It's pretty basic stuff.
Do you think it'd be a good idea if Matty Lockham got you in to talk to the players before the first game?
Oh, I'm sure I could give some inspirational stuff.
Yeah.
Be cool and don't get angry. Don't get me wrong, but just be cool when the pressure's on, and just
don't sweat too much.
No, don't push yourself too hard. But if it's it sure works out.
I think the biggest thing, Simo, was that when we played, we expected to win every game.
Yeah.
Right. That hasn't had that mentality down here at the footy club for a long time. So we just went out and we knew we'd win.
I always thought you were going to win. You're right. Well, I tell you what, it's been an absolute pleasure. Two of the greats of the footy club, both dual premiership players, both members of the Hall of Fame, and it's been a real pleasure to have Ross Gibbs and David Marshall there. Thanks, boys.
Good on you, Simon. Good on you, mate. Good on you.